What's going on, y'all? Nick here, coming to you with another video. So, you guys, um, I titled this video or this live, Turn the Other Cheek, Why I Left the Christian Church. All right, so I'm gonna start off with a quick testimony, and I hope that you guys can bear with me. But if you guys can resonate with what I'm saying, then please, put it in the chat. All right, you guys. Um, but in short, I remember when I first came to the faith, right? To the knowledge and understanding that I was an Israelite. I remember that I was seeing a lot of different Israelite camps out there at the time. And primarily, one of the biggest camps out there that I saw was the Hebrew Israelite community. Now, the thing about them in particular is that I'm sure you guys know, but a lot of them were always talking about, Esau's the white man and, having people lick their boots and all this crazy stuff, right? So, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I was wary when it came to actually fellowshipping with these dudes because I just saw all the hate. Hey, shalom, shalom, my brother. Mario, shalom to you, my brother. I was wary to fellowship with any other Hebrew Israelites at the time. So what I did, now this is early on, right? I attended a Sabbath Pentecostal church, but they were Christian. So I did that because I still wanted to learn about the Sabbath. I wanted to understand, about keeping the law, but I was not yet comfortable to fully go in and fellowship with Israelites because all the representation at the time was, as I said, IUIC and some other camps that were also spewing the same hate, right, towards white people. So anyway, fast forward, I was attending this Christian Pentecostal. It was not SDA, right? It was Sabbath Pentecostal or whatever, 7 days Pentecostal church. And I learned a lot. It was a very beautiful church, despite it being Christian. I have nothing against them. But there was one topic in particular when the pastor started going over turning the other cheek, right? And I remember this is in the same vein of, forgiveness and all this other stuff. And I remember I asked the pastor, I was like, hey, if a man breaks into your home and, sleeps with your wife and robs you, are you going to forgive him? Or are you going to turn the other cheek? Now, before I even go any further, this is a live, I like to interact with you guys, but please put it in the chat. I'm going to ask you guys this question. If a person breaks into your house, sleeps with your wife, robs you kill your children, are you going to turn the other cheek? I'm just curious. I genuinely would like to know because I feel like there is this idea of turning the other cheek. There's this idea about forgiveness. But whenever we get to this question right here, I always find it interesting how people just flip up. Please answer it in the chat. Hey, blessings to you, Sister Angelica. Bless you dearly. Please let me know. I always find it interesting how people. Please let me know, y'all. Real talk. Blessing to your house of Lamont. Bless you. Mario Mika. No, but hell no. Okay. Angelica, it would be very, very hard to turn the other cheek. I agree. If anybody else want to chime in, and just help me out, because one thing I want you guys to understand is that me, Brother Nick, I'm never one to act like I just know everything about a topic. I always leave room, respectfully, right? I may disagree with you, but I always leave room for, I could be wrong, but I find it amazing when we talk about this topic of turning the other cheek or forgiveness. When it comes to this question right here, I had a brother, a very beloved brother of mine, right? We still cool, mind you, right? And I asked him the same question, and he said that, I'll forgive him, but I'll whoop his ass. And I was like, then how in the world do you forgive him, right? How did you, Messiah said to defend your home. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, the Messiah, Christ, right? I mean, he literally said, if you don't have a sword, go sell your cloak and go get one. I mean, what are we doing with swords, right? Aren't we supposed to defend ourselves? Why was it so urgent that you need to literally sell your cloak and go get a sword? These are the words of Messiah, and that's what I'm saying. There is a version of Yeshua that's preached out there, right? There's this version of him, and we know that the word also says that, be wary lest they preach unto you another Jesus, right? Another Yeshua. You receive another spirit. And this is what I mean. This idea of forgiveness or turning the other cheek. Till this day, I still don't eat. I've yet to find a concrete definition. I'm not going to run through it because I already did 2 lengthy videos on it. You can watch forgiveness that I did on part 1 and part 2. I did a very lengthy video on it where I tried my best to use definitions that exist outside of myself. You see, and that's the thing that's very disturbing to me, that, us, right? It says study to show yourself approved, right, saints? I find it very disturbing that when you present people information, especially information like, I did not create the Strongs, y'all. I didn't create the etymology of the words. I didn't create that website. I mean, these are definitions that existed before any single one of us today was born. The Strongs existed before we were even born, y'all. So I find it very disturbing that when you present people just definitions of the word, that people still want to hold on to their former, idea, their former doctrine. And you see, this is very scary, because again, it said that, these people die because they reject knowledge. If people could present me a version of forgiveness that lines up with scripture, then I'll give you a perfect example, right? I'm going to share my screen. And I was talking to some brothers of mine, and I want to just share something. Before I go any further, though, let me actually go to this. I want to see if I can find it. This is Hebrews, right? So this is Hebrews, and this is Hebrews, 13. And let's read verse 8, right? Look at what it says, y'all. Jesus Christ, right? Yeshua HaMashiach, the same yesterday and today and forever, right? There's other passages of scripture where it says that, Yah is not a man that he should change, or the son of man that he should repent. So if he says something, if Yah says something, he said, and this is what's so amazing to me, because again, I was under the impression that what made Hebrew Israelites in particular more scholarly than the rest of these religions out there, or these different flavors of Christianity, is that I was under the impression that we had the unique ability of reading the word in context where nothing contradicts. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that what you guys thought about the faith? That's why I was attracted to the faith, because when I was a Christian, I would read the Old Testament and it would say one thing, and then when Jesus Christ is introduced, it would seem as if he did away with everything, even though he said that he did not come to remove one jot nor tittle from the law. So the thing that's very concerning is that he does not change. He's the same. And yet we're trying to act as if forgiveness is this new thing that wasn't present in the Old Testament, quote unquote Old Testament, right? The Torah and the Tanakh. No, he's the same. Forgiveness was something that was always present throughout the book. Nothing has changed. The word says you shouldn't bear a grudge against your neighbor, against your brother. Hey, bless your house of Lamar. The word already said that in the Torah. That the forgiveness is not this new concept that came with Christ. It was always there. It was always there. But anyway, getting to the point. So now that we read that, right, that he's not the same, I want to read some verses. And if we know that he is the same, wouldn't the same apply to us even today? There is no change. All right, so let's get to it, right? Let's get to it. So let me share my screen. And I was reading this. What is it? I believe it's First Kings. Yep, chapter 2. I was speaking to a beloved brother of mine, right? And he was sharing this with me, and I was just like, man, this is powerful. And the thing is, he was in agreement with me, right? And that's not the reason why it was powerful, by the way. It's not because you agree with me. It was because I was not even thinking about this verse when I was thinking about forgiveness, right? But he presented something to me, and I think like these are conversations that's really hard to have. So I just wanted to present it to you guys, right? I don't even want to be here too long, but let's actually go into it, right? So this is First Kings. Let me make sure I can see it. And this is like David when he was about to die, right? So you can see David's charge to Solomon. All right, so we could just read it in context. So starting from verse 1, it says, "Now the days of David drew near that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of Yahweh thy Elohim, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moshe, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whatsoever thou turnest thyself." Verse 4, this is the key, y'all. Check this out. "And Yahweh may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, If the children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel." Check this out, y'all. This is so powerful. "Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab the son of Zeruiah did." All right. So Joab, I want you guys to understand who we're about to talk about. Joab is literally the captain of David's army. All right. He was an Israelite. And I want you to understand, like, this is David, who we should know these verses by now, right? A man after Yah's own heart. A man after Yah's own heart. So this is David in his deathbed, and check out what David is about to say. This is wild, y'all. This is wild. All right. "Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab the son of Zeruiah did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the host of Israel, unto Abner the son of Ner, and unto Amasa the son of Jether, whom he slew, and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoar head go down to the grave in peace." Do you hear that? David, before he dies, is literally asking for the execution of Joab. He said, you better make sure his head does not go down to the grave in peace. Now, let me ask you guys something. I just referenced the verse, "Thou shalt not bear a grudge." You see, now if we read those verses with our American westernized, idea and concept, right? Notion, wouldn't this sound like a grudge? Like, this man is about to die, and he said that, man, you remember what he did to me. Remember what Joab did to me. Make sure he does not go to the grave in peace. Doesn't that sound like he's bearing a grudge? So he's asking for the execution of, and hey, not only Joab, let's read more, right? Let's keep going. All right. "Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoar head go down to the grave in peace, but show kindness unto the sons of Barzillai, the Gileadite, and let them be of those that eat at the table. For so they came to me when I fled because of Absalom thy brother. And behold, thou hast with thee Shimei the son of Jerah, a Benjamin of Bahurim, which cursed me with a grievous curse in the day when I went to Mahanaim." Right? All right. Check this out. "But he came down to meet me at Jordan, and I swear to him by Yahweh, saying, I will not put thee to death with the sword. Now therefore hold him not guiltless, for thou art a wise man, and knowest what thou oughtest to do unto him. But his hoar head bring thou down to the grave with blood." Hey, my brother Rich, bless you. And I want to give credit to where credit is due, because again, I was not thinking about these verses. Brother Rich is the one that actually brought these verses to my remembrance. So again, I want to bring I want to give credit to where credit is due. But check this out. Do you guys understand that this man, David, this is on his deathbed. This is the last thing he's going to tell his son. He's literally asking for the execution of 2 Israelites. He said, one of them, he said that, oh, remember what he did to me, referring to Joab. And the other brother, he said that, hey, man, this man cursed me. This man cursed me. So make sure he goes to the grave with blood. So this is what I'm saying. What do we do with things like this? A man after Yah's own heart. Is he bearing a grudge? Did he not forgive them? Why didn't he turn the other cheek? And then this is when people hit you with, oh, well, this is before Christ came. No. I don't want to hear it. You see, again, Christ is not going to do anything contrary to the law. He's not going to do something contrary to the law. The new covenant is not even presenting something contrary to the law. The new covenant is the law written within our hearts and our minds. So what do you do with something like that? You see, exactly. They might say, this is the Old Testament. You see, that's what I'm saying. No. But as Israelites, we know how to read the Bible. We know how to decipher the Bible in such a way where nothing contradicts. No, don't try to put the Old Testament and the New Testament at odds with one another. No. The New Testament is simply the law written in your heart and your mind. It's not the set of books and letters. So now when you see a situation like this, a man after Yah's own heart, and guess what? Let's go to another verse, right? Let's present this for y'all. Let me share my screen. I think it is 1 Kings 15. Let me share this real quick. All right. We're going to go to 1 Kings 15:5. Let me make sure you guys can see it. And check out what this has to say. Because David did that which was right in the eyes of Yahweh. Oh, okay. So David did what was right in the eyes of Yah. And turned not aside from anything. Whoa. And turned not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. Do you see that? So in other words, when David did what he did, asking for the execution of those 2 Israelites, guess what, y'all? Y'all didn't view that as something wrong. Y'all didn't say, hey, David, you got to forgive these cats for what they did. I understand he cursed you, but you got to forgive them. No, he didn't say none of that. He didn't say none of that. You see, this is what I mean, is that we have this idea, this perception of, turning the other cheek and forgiveness, but I don't think we truly understand it from the standpoint of the Bible. Well said, Blue Collar Scholar. Well, Lamar might have to choose one of the other, or understand that forgiveness and the necessity for justice is 2 different things. I couldn't say it any better myself. Those are 2 separate things. You see, justice and forgiveness are 2 separate things. And this is the reason why, again, when you read the saints in Revelation, which I brought out, so I'm not going to go to it, but just go to Revelation 6, yeah. When you read about those saints, and how they crying out to the Most High, asking you, how long will thou not avenge us? All this idea about, they're harboring hatred and bitterness and all this other stuff. No, that's completely false, because justice still needs to be served. And Yahweh is a just El. Yeah, I could forgive you. I could choose not to punish you, because that's what it means, right? To let go, to send forth from you, right? As a husband giving a wife a bill of divorce, all things that I covered already. But the thing is, from a biblical standpoint, right, the true definition of forgiveness is simply that I'm not going to choose to execute the judgment on you. The punishment that you deserve, I'm not going to take it upon my own hands. But that does not mean that I do not still want justice for the crime you have imposed on me. No. There's still justice that needs to be served. And if that means I got to ask my son Solomon to execute your ass, I'm going to do it, and I'm still going to be able to sleep sound at night, and I'm still going to make it into the kingdom. David didn't do nothing wrong, y'all. Whoo, man, these are hard conversations, but when you present it to people, they're gonna fly past it, right? I want to bring credit to another brother, right? I want to bring up this verse too, because he put it in the chat one time, but I didn't really I didn't put emphasis on it. But I just want to have an open dialogue, y'all. Just an open dialogue. Matthew 18, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 15. Let's read this and let's be critical, readers here, y'all. Let's be critical readers. So Matthew 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee. So now this is a brother, y'all. This is a brother we're talking about. If a brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the assembly. But if he neglect to hear the assembly, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. You guys, please, let's just have some level of integrity here. If this was considered a brother, and it gets to the point where this brother, no matter, you went through the protocol, you spoke to him individually, you brought 2 more witnesses, and then you brought it before the whole assembly or the church, right, the ecclesia, and he or she still does not want to hear you. If you are treating them like a heathen and a publican, from our understanding of forgiveness, right, the traditional, I'm not talking about what I presented, or it's not even what I presented. It's already in the Strongs. It's already in the etymology of the word. But from the Christian-y mindset of forgiveness, where, act like nothing took place, and I got to remove all the bitterness in my heart towards this individual, then why are we treating them like a heathen and a publican? Please, can somebody please, with some level of integrity, show me what I'm missing? Please put in the chat. Because I'm willing to hear you out. I'm straight up. I'm willing to hear you out. But just bring some level of scholarship. Bring me something that maybe I'm perhaps missing. But if you are to forgive from that traditional mindset, then why in the world are you treating them like a heathen and a publican? Which, if anybody's reading critically, you'll understand that that's pretty much saying that you have no more dealings with that individual, because they not even hearing you. Hey, bless you, Sister Angela. Bless you. You see, you're no longer dealing with that person. That's the reason why they said treat them like a heathen and a publican. You just have no more dealings, which is exactly, truth be told, that would actually be the true way to forgive somebody, really. If you read it in the Strongs, send them, let them go, send them forth from you. I don't gotta deal with you. This is exactly what I'm saying. That doesn't mean I'm cool with you. No, I'm not cool with you. Because again, you are considered a heathen and a publican. Us as Israelites, we don't have no dealings with heathens and publicans. And I'm saying that with a grain of salt, right? I'm not talking about you going to work or whatever the case is. We're just talking about being buddy, chum. We don't have no dealings with heathens and publicans. So if you're an Israelite, hey, you go ahead and you do whatever you gotta do, right? Just don't. I'm not gonna break bread with you. I'm not gonna dance with you. I'm not gonna sing with you. We're not gonna be doing no kumbaya. None of that. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that understanding? Because that would be a biblical understanding. That would be a biblical understanding. You see, and again, when you truly understand forgiveness from a biblical perspective, then you'll start reading the book and everything is going to start making sense to you. Because this is the reason why Christ is going to be able to come back. Yes, he said, I forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Sure, he said that. But this is the reason why he's coming back and he's about to slay a whole bunch of people. Make that make sense. If the sin is as far as the east is from the west, if it's truly that, then why is he coming back to execute vengeance anyway? Why, when you read countless verses in the Tanakh regarding the what they call it. Man, I don't know why it's slipping my tongue, but the prophets, right? Excuse me. And they talk about Gog and Magog and Medai and all these other prophecies about these nations that will be completely and utterly destroyed. You got to ask yourselves that. You got to ask yourselves that. Why is that taking place? If Yah truly just forgives the way we truly understand forgiveness to be, oh, it's just wiped up, it's wiped off from our mind. And going back to what Sister Angela said, right? Bless you, sister, once again. You said that in your first video, which I thought was so beautiful, when you brought up the verse about Jezebel in Revelations, that true forgiveness is simply giving people time and space to repent. That's all it is. It's time and space to repent. Oh, matter of fact, and you said it's a Christian mindset. Going back to that, and I have one more account, and I think this one is going to really be icing on the cake. But when I was at that Christian church, and I asked that pastor that, and mind you, his wife was there, listening to all of this, and I asked him like, okay, so we talking about turning the other cheek. So you will allow a man to come into your home, sleep with your wife, kill your children, and you're going to turn the other cheek? You're going to forgive that person? And he responded, hey, I would have to. And you guys, you got to understand, like, that's such a scary mindset. That's such a scary mindset. And I never thought in a million years that, when I left that church, I never thought that I would have to come against that spirit again, because I thought that I left that back in Christianity. So to see it resurface in my mind, I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, like, have we really gotten back here? I thought this was an elementary concept for Israelites. And I'm saying that respectfully. I thought that was an elementary concept for Israelites. Are we really going to just allow people to abuse us? But that's what I'm saying. Every man that I've asked, right, in the quote unquote faith, they always say, nah, I'm going to protect my family. Why is it so easy for you to understand that? You see, when it pertains to you directly, you're going to easily say, I'm going to defend my family, but you can't see when you're outside of the situation, all of a sudden we just got to forgive. Yikes indeed. House of Lamar, yikes indeed. This is scary. It's a scary mindset. I can't even fathom teaching my children that. Like, hey, son, one day you're going to grow up and have a family of your own. But if somebody, sleeps with your wife, you just got to forgive them, son. Even the women here, if there's any women in the chat, that's what you want your man to do. You want your man to just sit by and watch you get desecrated, all for the sake of, this idea of forgiveness, which, mind you, they can't prove it in the Strongs. They can't prove it in the etymology. They can't prove it nowhere. That's what I'm saying. That's even more scarier. Look, you guys, I was Christian too. There's many things that I've, adopted as my own. But if information is presented to you, I mean, by all shit, it's not to kill you. I mean, sometimes we all have to grow in this thing. There's nothing in this that's biblical. I find it patently offensive that a victim of a crime bears the onus of responsibility of pretending it never happened under the threat that if you feel traumatized, then you are going to be punished. Exactly. Exactly, blue collar scholar. The onus is on us. And this is what I'm saying. This is like that same warped, distorted idea that, when it says, woe unto you, offenses must come, right? And they always put the woe on the person that got offended. But if you read it in context, the woe is not on the person that got offended. You being offended, you good. You good. The woe is on the person that offends. The woe is on the person that offends the little ones. It's like as if a millstone has been put about their neck, not your neck because you're offended. No. That's what I'm saying. You guys, just please think, y'all. Desecrated is wild terminology. That's what it is. Your wife is your property, and then you gonna see her get desecrated. And you want to preach to people about, forgiving in that manner? No, no. True Christianity is a hell of a job. It really is. And look, you guys, trust me when I say this. Listen to what I'm saying, because I'm gonna show you what I personally believe true forgiveness is. When that mind you, I want to even be more clear, right? Because I said this before. We gotta stop being so damn sensitive. Like, what are we forgiving at the end of the day? We forgiving sins, right? There's a lot of things that may offend you, but it may not necessarily fall under the category of sin because it's not transgression of the law, right? Like, if you told me, hey brother, I'm gonna give you a call back, and you forgot. I mean, there's no law that says that you must call the brother at this. No. So you don't gotta call me, but hey man, please forgive me because I forgot, that I called. No, I'm not even looking at you sideways. I understand life be lifing, right? Life be lifing. I understand we all got a life. Sometimes things come up. That's not a sin because you forgot to call the brother back. No. We gotta stop being so sensitive. But now we're talking about sins. Actual sins where the Bible actually says if you do such a thing, there's a punishment associated with it. Those are things that we could forgive. And even then, like I keep saying, you're not extending that to just any old person. Because we just read the account of David. This man ordered the execution of those 2 Israelites. And Yah didn't look at him sideways or nothing. Victim blaming, yep. So I want to give a shout out to Brother Chance, because I asked the same question on Facebook, and he brought up a beautiful verse that I was just like, damn, I didn't even think about this account, but this joint right here is real tough. I mean, real tough. Let's go to it. Let's go to it. This is the Judges 19 account. All right. And bear with me because I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's 3 chapters. It elapsed 3 chapters. It will just be way too long. But in short, I do want to point out some key verses, all right? So if anybody knows, to kind of fill you in, right? Hey, brother Chris Briggs, shalom to you, my brother, shalom. If anybody knows the account, because again, it's way too long, it's 3 chapters, I don't want to bore your time, and I myself don't have all the time in the world. This is a Levite, right? And this Levite, you guys should all know the account. He had a concubine. And pretty much he's going to be traveling in an area that belongs to the Benjamites in particular. And we're going to read what these Benjamites do to this woman and the I guess the outrage it caused throughout Israel. And let's ask ourselves, where was forgiveness in this account? Where was the forgiveness in this account? All right. So we're going to read it. You can even see it already. It's saying, Levite concubines, a Levite's concubine degraded, right? So let me see where I want to go. I guess I'll start at verse 8 just to give a little bit of context. So he, as in the Levite, arose early in the morning on the 5th day to depart. And the damsel's father, the damsel, that's the concubine, said, comfort thou her, I pray thee. And they tarried until afternoon, and they did eat both of them. Right? If we jump down to, I believe, 14. And they passed on and went their way, and the sun went down upon them when they were by Gibeah, which belongeth to the Benjamin. All right. So again, they were in Gibeah, and that area at the time belongs to Benjamin. All right, you guys. Again, to just give you guys some context, let's jump down. And I would highly recommend, again, because I'm doing all this jumping around, please, you guys, read the account for yourselves. And I have to say that because I'm not trying to deceive nobody. You read the account for yourself, right? Again, it's just way too long for me to go over 3 whole chapters. All right. But going to 16 and behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim, and he sojourned in Gibeah. All right, again, we just read Gibeah was the place that belonged to the Benjamin, but the men of the place were Benjamites. All right, so now let's go jump down even further to verse 22. It said, now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial. Again, in context, understand we're still talking about the Benjamites, you guys. Now, as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about. Man, and let me touch on this because the beauty is in the details. Notice they're Israelites, right? They're Benjamites, right? We know that's one of the tribes of Israel. And yet they still refer to them, even though they were Israelites, as sons of Belial. Is it possible that just because somebody may be a brother, what things can they do that cause them to fall under the umbrella of a son of Belial? Or as we read in, I believe, Matthew 18, it said that treat them as a heathen and a publican. You see, just because someone's a quote-unquote brother, there are things that they can do. There are things that they can do that causes them to be put under a different category. Like, yes, you are a brother physically, but because you did this atrocity, now I got to regard you as a son of Belial, or I got to regard you as a heathen. All right? There are things that take place, y'all. And we're going to go into it more. Let's keep going. All right? So certain sons of Belial beset the house round about and beat at the door and spake to the master of the house. The old man saying, bring forth the man that came into thy house that we may know him. All right, know him. That's a euphemism. So again, these people are these Benjamites, which is crazy. They speaking in the same manner as the people during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. They speaking in the same manner. They saying, bring forth this man so that we may know him. So do you see the wickedness that was in their heart at the time? And you can see, and the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, nay, my brethren. You see, so he's trying to, look at that, my brethren. He was trying to beseech them. He was trying to say, you guys, y'all my brothers, please. You know, y'all Benjamites, I know y'all Israelites, please, my brothers. Listen, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into my house. Do not this folly. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing. But the men would not hearken to him. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her and abused her all night until the morning. And when they began to spring, they let her go. Now think about this, guys. Think about this, and this is a discussion. Even in Christianity, this topic is so rarely discussed. I don't think it's ever been discussed. It's like this is like a dark time in history. Nobody wants to touch it. But think about what they just did. So these men, these sons of Belial, even though they were Benjamites, even though they were Israelites, the Bible refers to them as sons of Belial. And these sons of Belial, they graped this woman. I gotta say that because the algorithm, right? They forced themselves upon this woman and graped her all night. All night. Well, is coming to my remembrance now. They refer to this the concubine saying that she was playing the harlot. I don't care what she was doing. Nobody deserves that. And we're gonna see that even the Israelites at the time, they thought the same thing. No woman deserves to be graped all night, yeah. That's a huge atrocity. So anyway, long story short, we're going to see that then came the woman in the dawning of the day and fell down at the door of the man's house where her master was till it was light. I want to jump down to verse, let me see. I'm going to read this part. 28. And he said unto her, up, and let us be going, but none answered. Then the man took her up upon an ass, and the man rose up and gat him unto his place. And when he was coming to his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine and divided her together with her bones into 12 pieces and sent her into all the coasts of Israel. And it was so that all that saw it, there was no such deed done nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt unto this day. Consider of it, take advice, and speak your minds. All right, now I want this. This is where it gets real crazy, all right? Because again, we could see this atrocity that's done to this woman. Let's see how they handled this, all right? So we're gonna go verse 20. Then all the children of Israel, and if you guys are liking this video so far, please, like, subscribe. Not for the vanity's sake, but more so that, hopefully this video can help other people understand the true context of, turning the other cheek and forgiveness. All right. And matter of fact, I didn't even realize that. Look at what it's even called, right? It's a resolve to punish the guilty. All right. Again, we talking about justice here. Let's not talk about, all this other stuff about, emotions and other stuff. I mean, justice still has to be served, y'all. We can't allow a woman in Israel to just be raped all night and think that nothing is going to take place. Nah. Anyway, then all the children of Israel went out, and the congregation was gathered together as one man from Dan even to Beersheba with the land of Gilead unto Yahweh in Mizpah. And the chief of all the people, even of all the tribes of Israel, presented themselves in the assembly of the people of Yah, 400,000 footmen that drew sword. Now the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel were gone up to Mizpah. Then said the children of Israel, tell us, how was this wickedness? So in other words, now these brothers are looking at them like, hey, explain this to me. Explain how the hell that you allowed this to happen in your place, and how is this woman getting raped and chopped up in 12 pieces? Explain this account to us, because we're not getting it. We're not understanding. Now the children of Benjamin heard, let's go to 4. And the Levite, the husband of the woman that was slain, answered and said, I came into Gibeah that belongeth to Benjamin, right? That belongeth to Benjamin, I and my concubine to lodge. And the men of Gibeah rose against me and beset the house round about me by night, and thought to have slain me. And my concubine have they forced that she is dead. And I took my concubine and cut her in pieces and set her throughout all the country of the inheritance of Israel. For they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel. Behold, ye are the children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel. So you see, this is what he's saying. This is the Levite here saying that, look, you're the children of Israel. You're the children of Israel. I mean, the oracles, the commandments, the statutes, the law of Yah was handed to you. Judge this matter. And this is what I'm saying right now. Are we now, us, right? Because we're the children of Israel. Are we now to lack discernment to judge properly? Again, are we in the name of forgiveness when it comes down to executing justice, when executing judgment? Are we now to somehow, in the name of turning the other cheek and in the name of forgiveness, supposed to forego judgment and righteousness? No, when certain things take place, I mean, we have to judge accordingly, y'all. And I'm going to prove it to you, because again, we're going to see who's going to actually execute the judgment here. We're going to see who's going to choose to execute the judgment. All right, and all the people arose as one man, saying, we will not any of us go to his tent, neither will we any of us turn into his house. So, for the sake of time, I just want to jump down to verse 13. And I want to make sure you guys understand something, right? Before we go in, is that, in other words, now they realizing like, okay, you know what? This is totally disgusting. We got to deal with these sons of Belial. We got to deal with the Benjamites for this atrocity, this criminal act against this concubine, right? We have to. And look at what takes place in verse 13. All right. It says, now therefore deliver us the men, the children of Belial. This is what the children of Israel are saying, which are in Gibeah, that we may put them to death and put away the evil from Israel. But the children of Benjamin would not hearken to the voice of their brethren, the children of Israel. You see, notice, they say we need those children of Belial, and Benjamin, they were trying to protect them. This is what I want you guys to understand. You see, I don't know what was going on in their mind, but they wanted to somehow protect these sons of Belial. I guess because, we're just brothers. Oh, well, they belong to Benjamin, so we're not going to allow anybody outside of Benjamin to, harm these people. You see, and this is what's taking place right now. Like we forming these contracts in our minds. We signing these contracts and binding ourselves to individuals just for the sake of brotherhood or whatever the case may be. No. Sometimes brothers can do certain things that put them in a category of a son of Belial. They could put them in a category of a heathen and a publican. And in those times and situations, sometimes you have to divorce yourself from these people. Sometimes, because again, forgiveness or not, we got to understand that forgiveness does not forego righteous judgment. Forgiveness does not forego justice, you guys. It has no, forgiveness has nothing to do with emotions and feelings. No. Throw away my emotions and feelings. What you did, now there's a consequence. Now there is a consequence. And sometimes, here's what you need to understand too, right? Depending on the infraction, sometimes you might not even be given time and space. Sometimes you might not even be given the time and space because this thing was so egregious. They say hand over the sons of Belial. So now, if you want to now protect these cats, look what's finna happen. We're going to read it, y'all. The Benjamin would not hearken to the voice of their brethren, the children of Israel. But the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together out of the cities of Gibeah to go out to battle against the children of Israel. So now here's another thing that they're doing wrong. So now, not only do they refuse to give the sons of Belial up, but now they're going to band together as one troop to come against their own brethren. All right, let's see how the Most High deals with this. We're going to jump down. Now you see civil war, Benjamin defeated, right? And let's read this. And the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of Yah, 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 and asked counsel of Yah, and said, which of us shall go up first to the battle against the children of Benjamin? And Yahweh said, Judah shall go up first. In other words, why do you think I'm putting so much emphasis on this? Because it's not what, man said. It's not what Brother Nick said. It's not what anybody else said. It was not what the judges. You got to understand, if you read it in context, you got to understand that it was heard in Israel that they had to even lift their finger against their brother. It hurt them so much. It's like, damn, do we really got to wipe these dudes out? Yahweh said. He gave them the okay. I'm curious with this infraction that was done, why didn't they say, oh, turn the other cheek? Please put it in the chat, y'all. This is a genuine question because sometimes people, you could try to be contentious or whatever the case may be. I'm asking a genuine question because, again, we started off this live by saying that he is the same, Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever. Yah is change is not. He's not a man that he should repent, right? So I'm trying to understand sincerely. Why weren't they told to turn the other cheek? Why weren't they told to, hey, man, just forgive your brothers? I understand that they raped this woman all night, but, forgive them because they are your brothers after all. Why? Why wasn't that presented to them? And Yahweh is the one that said it? It's going to be very dangerous when we try to, all in the name of a Christian doctrine of forgiveness, we're going to try to change how Yahweh was operating in times past. That's very dangerous. And this is the reason why, again, I'm willing to concede if I was wrong, but I'm not finna make Yahweh seem like a schizophrenic. I'm not, because again, the Bible, according to the way I read it, it has to coincide from beginning to end. There is no contradictions. It's not this old versus new pinned off against each other. No, it's not Yahweh fighting against his own law. And no. When we read this word, it all has to make sense. So Yahweh is the one that says Judah shall go up first. We're going to read it. We're going to jump down to 23. And the children of Israel went up and wept. So this is just like I was saying. Now the children of Israel are crying before Yahweh. until even, and asked counsel of Yah, saying, shall I go up again to battle? So that means there was not only one battle, Yah. This is not a second battle. Shall I go up again to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother? Look at that. You see, the heart that they had for their brothers. They were going to war with their own brothers, and they were crying. They were just like, look, do we have to? Mind you, they know they were sons of Belial. They know that the Benjamin were trying to conceal the sons of Belial, and they still out of their heart. You see, this is when the feelings are in there. You see, us as man, we try to have our feelings involved in the matter when it comes to judgment. And Yah is pretty much saying, I don't give two shits about your feelings. I don't give two shits about your feelings. I don't care if you regard them as your brothers. Justice still needs to be served. And guess what? This is not what you said. This is not what Brother Nick says. It's not what this pastor says. It's not what mommy and daddy says. It's not what Christianity said. No, this is what Yah said. Right? Shall I go up again to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother? And Yah said, and Yah said, and Yah said, go up against him. So now he's telling him to fight him twice. We're going to jump down to verse 28. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, stood before it in those days, saying, shall I yet again? So this is a third battle, y'all. Shall I yet again go out to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother? You see, look at that. Look at the heart of of the men. You see, because our heart is wicked and desperately wicked above all things, we still trying to regard them as brothers, even though we know what they did to this woman. Or shall I cease? And Yahweh said, and the Most High said, Yahweh Almighty said, go up, for tomorrow I will deliver them into thy hand. Look, you guys. All right. I think y'all get the point. I'm gonna really land the plane because there's nothing else that needs to be said. Again, people, they gloss over this. They're gonna still, if you want to hold on to your understanding of forgiveness, you go right ahead. You go right ahead. But I don't see, Yahweh told these men to fight their brothers 3 times. If you read the account, the number of Benjamin was brought down so damn low. It was brought down so damn low. They didn't even know who to marry at that point. You guys, listen to what I'm telling you. Yes, you could have compassion all you want. They had compassion. They was weeping for their brothers. You see, even in the transaction, even in the trespass, they still had it in their heart to love their brothers. And guess what? It didn't even matter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. The Most High pretty much said, go against them. Go against them. I don't care. And I think the account, I don't have it right now, but I think it was about, matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I had highlighted it. Let's go to that verse one more time. I think if we go to verse, 35? And Yahweh smote Benjamin before Israel, and the children of Israel destroyed of the Benjamites that day 20 and 5,000 and 100 men. All these Jews saw it. So 25,000, 100 men died because Yahweh said, go up against them. Amazing. Look at all that blood that has to be shed because of the wickedness of raping that woman. Now, and here's the thing, right? I'm not one to try to question Yah. If this is how Yah chooses to execute judgment, then it is what it is. It is what it is. Now you have enemy neighbor. Judgment is necessary, but they're two different. Judgment in the 1 Corinthians, we who are spiritual judge all things. That's one type. The other is not the same. Hallelujah. Actually, 1 Corinthians 2:15 is righteous judgment, and it's not what people think it is. This judging is related to examining, questioning, and discerning. That's right, sis. I want you guys to understand something, right? We could talk about forgiveness all day, turn the other cheek, and all this other stuff, but there's a limit to this stuff. There's a limit to this stuff, and everybody, any real man and woman, y'all know the limit. This is why I ask those hard questions. It's amazing to even be asking these type of questions. So therefore, I could sleep with your wife, men. Please put it in the chat, men. I could sleep with your wives. I could slay your children. Oh, no, you know what? Hey, I got the do-rag anyway. I know how religious people think about that, right? Should I be like a thug and don't hold the gun the right way, hold it sideways just like a thug and say, yo, run your pockets, man. Run your pockets. Should I do that? Should I do that? Yeah. Let me not even hold it the right way. Let me hold it sideways. Yo, run them pockets, brother. And you better forgive me. You better not call the police because I'm your brother. You better not call the police. Run those pockets. Now, if people choose to sound, what they do, sound bite or, clip that, whatever the case may be, so, apparently so, and you will be forgiven. Hello? Hey. It's sad that we got to even come to this baseline thinking. And that's what I'm saying. Even in their understanding of forgiveness, they draw a line when it comes to that point. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem when we don't have a clear definition. And all I'm trying to do is give a clear definition. Again, definitions that predates any single one of us that's on this earth right now. The Strong's been around. The etymology been around. The etymology actually is literally the origin of the word, and nowhere does it talk about feelings and emotion. Truth be told, I just read the account that proved to you even when their feelings and emotion was there, they had compassion on their brothers. They did not want to slay them. And Yah is the one that said, go and slay these cats because they are sons of Belial. You see, when we go to, quote unquote, the New Testament, Matthew 18, mind you, Matthew 18, if you read that in context, that's Jesus speaking, by the way. That was red letter. That was red letter when Jesus said, hey, if you have an ought with your brother, this is the protocol. So that means Christ is the one that people want to try to blame for all this forgiveness stuff. Christ is the one that told you treat him as a heathen and a publican. So what do you say now? What do you say then? I think you did a great job of breaking it down. Hey, bless you, sis. Bless you. What do you say then? That's red letter. It's Christ himself, Yeshua HaMashiach, is coming down telling you this is the protocol to deal with a brother they can't see themselves. They don't want to see themselves, even when multiple witnesses. You see, because again, Christ cannot go against the law. I mean, he's the word of Yah. He is the law. And when Yah spoke, that was Christ in action. He's the one that gave the law. So he's saying that, look, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every matter be established. So now if you choose to go against that, hey, bro, there's nothing I can do with you at this point. You're not a brother. You are heathen and you're a publican. This is red letter. Why are we fighting against the words of Messiah? All for what? To hold on to, this emotionalism, the Christian perspective of forgiveness, turn the other cheek. And mind you, none of these people can operate that way. I guarantee you. There ain't nobody that I know. If Brother Nick came up and smacked y'all, ain't none of y'all gonna be like, all right, let me give you the other cheek. Stop. Ain't none of y'all finna do that. Ain't none of y'all have that forgiveness in your heart to make me smack you on both sides of your face. Stop the noise. Stop capping. Just keep it a buck, y'all. Keep it a straight stack. This is what it is, right? When you peer into these people's hearts, this is what you realize. People want to forgive those who they want to forgive. That's it. Nick took the cat out the bag. Yep. That's it. And y'all know that's the truth. You forgive the people you want to forgive. That's how forgiveness works in this daytime and hour. There's some people that could do certain things to you, you forgive them, and there's other people that probably did the same thing, and you don't even got the same mercy for them. You'll say it until it actually happens. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. And it's sad. It's sad. Anyway, y'all, I don't want to be here too long because, again, even in the chat, I've been asking certain questions, And none of y'all have presented, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. You guys may very well agree, but I'm saying I have seen nobody come out and present scripture that even remotely shows that forgiveness has something to do with, emotions, to remove the bitterness in my heart. Nah. David went to his grave still remembering what Joab and that other Israelite did, so much so that he ordered their execution. You get what I'm saying? We have the judge's account where even when compassion was there, even when the love and compassion was there, Yahweh don't give two shits about that. Nah, justice needs to be served. Forgiveness has nothing to do with emotions. Nothing. Anyway, I don't want to beat the dead horse. If there's any, again, I wanted to give just, I wanted to bring this forth because these are things that didn't even proceed from me. Yeah, Brother Chance that presented that judge account for me. Brother Rich brought out the I believe the First Kings account. And then, Little Lake Lodge, that used to be No More Bullshit. He's the one that presented the Matthew 18 account. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those brothers because they presented certain things that only add to the topic of discussion, which is, in this daytime and hour, forgiveness, turn the other cheek, whatever you want to label it. I mean, it seems very clear to me that we got to stop with all this great stream. Hey, bless you, my brother. It seems to me that we really got to stop all this emotionalism stuff, all this feelings and emotion stuff. Again, y'all, I'm not going to be too long. I don't want to beat the dead horse. If you guys like the video, please like, subscribe, comment down below. And please do me this one favor because it does help. Even outside of this live, right? Like those of you who are commenting, I do appreciate you. But if you can just go out to the actual comment section outside of the live chat, and if you could just write something there. And the reason why I'm saying that, again, not for the sake of vanity metrics. No, I don't care about that. But the way the algorithm works is that whenever you engage with the content, it's a positive signal that it can send forth to other people out there that's listening. Maybe this can help somebody. Because again, I think we as children of Yah need to help these people out there who may be struggling with a false sense of forgiveness. They struggling with this stuff. They being beat over the head with an idea of what forgiveness should be. And then, truth be told, what actually happens, you're actually causing these people to relive the trauma over and over. You see, because I'm going to land the plane by saying this. You see, when you understand what true forgiveness is, you can understand that, hey, you know what? I'm cool. I don't got to be buddy-buddy with this individual. I could go to sleep sound at night, especially when you realize you got scriptures to back you up. But when you understand forgiveness to be removing this, the animosity in your heart, bitterness in your heart, and all this other stuff, you know what's going to take place? You're going to feel those emotions. It's going to bring those things back to your mind, and you're going to start condemning yourself like, damn, why am I dealing with this, da-da-da? And guess what? You're going to keep reliving that same experience over and over, and it's only going to get you even worse. Yeah, because as you keep reliving it over and over in your mind, you're going to get angrier. You're going to get more mad, more distraught. You won't actually move on. You're going to be stuck in this endless loop, this endless cycle. Nah, guys, let these people go. These people that did you wrong, let them go. And that doesn't mean you have to let go of the emotions. No. Your emotions are justified. But let these people go. And be 100%, resolved in your mind that, okay, it's cool if I got to treat them like a heathen and publican. It's cool if I got to regard them as a son of Belial. It's cool if I got to understand that we are no longer buddy-buddy. It's cool. I didn't do nothing wrong. You get what I'm saying? The onus is on them to come to me to repent, or the onus is on them to try to get it right because they offended me. Not the other way around. The millstone is on their neck, not the other way around. Not the other way around. Anyway, with that being said, shalom. Love you all dearly. Nick over and out. The message sent. Jesus is King, y'all.